I can't.
How did they get over there on your
It's
desk?
a black coat.
I'm gonna put it right here, okay?
Or you need to be right next to
Tell them what the folks. Tell them what the folks. Tell them what the folks said. Tell them what the folks said. Come on, tell them what the folks said.
I'm gonna get some compliments.
That's
Your
why I
red
won't.
jacket on, I see you.
Yeah, I was gonna wear an ugly sweater, but it was hot.
I had this jacket on. It was.
I don't like sand, right? And
Well, you ain't.
weather guy.
Oh, we don't need a police report.
That is a stunning day.
I thought, oh my god.
Bring my Christmas cards. I don't have time for those. That's a
He
stunning.
talking about your
That's what I
jacket.
know. I was telling him to tell you.
He didn't even see mine. He didn't even see mine.
I told him to tell
First
you.
meeting in January, he can recap.
He didn't even
Entire
see.
That'd be great.
2024.
He didn't even see my jacket. You got me all blocked.
No, I was gonna. Well, I've got two. I got two streets of dreams.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not.
Hey, Gary. Oops.
And it is slick and it's on glass.
One of these.
Oh yeah.
Getting on.
What is that?
Somebody hit a bunch of insulation. It's a huge bag.
That happened inside.
Somebody's going to. I'll see.
Who was on that picture with you at the top?
Hey, Gary.
Okay, I didn't know who that was. I didn't listen.
She a boy.
Okay, I didn't know who it was.
You got it.
Don't put on the hat.
Associated.
Oh, you don't know about it? Oh, well, I let it be a surprise to you.
What's it,
Well, thanks for the update. Appreciate it.
Indeed. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm hoping. That contract.
Did you go back and saw you?
30 days.
Yeah, that's Mike. That's Mike. Mike will be gone to the first of the year. That's right. That's right. Oh, don't worry about it.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Me too, and I'm hoping.
Problem. Not the bus, not the electric bus. Problem.
Yeah. With the lines that ran down the center.
My grandfather
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
left the car parked. Got it. Spotted it at Anna's.
That's your crack. Be cracked.
Oh, I thought maybe they give you some pain
Be
management.
cracked.
Yeah, I know. You want me to do what with one?
Lying on that table.
Oh, I know. That's not a
Still under
underneath it. Yeah.
I think we all just said, let's get up. Oh, actually.
One way or the other, it will. Yeah. I mean, I go to traction like every other week. You know, like I got pain in my hips and because I've got a pinched nerve and very basic. And I thought, ironically enough, I thought it was my prostate.
Thank you very much.
And it was
Follow
because
instructions.
that
I'm good at listening.
caused me to go to my
Hey, how are you?
and that's when
Talking about my time?
crazy. Lord bless us.
Oh, instructions. Oh, there's, you know, the Mayor's Internal Communications Task Force Spirit Week.
I'm gonna spend more time doing Merry Christmas than you are. There's really not much for y'all to vote on. All right.
Are we ready?
Let's make it easy.
What's his name? What's his name for the street? Yeah. What's his name?
He's here.
I said, what's his name? Aaron. Yeah. Oh, am I supposed to be right here? Am I supposed to be right here? Where's my thing? Oh, okay. Then I'm where I'm supposed to be.
The City of Shreveport meeting is now called to order. I will ask Vice Chair Green to lead us in a prayer, and I will ask Councilwoman Taylor to lead us in the pledge.
Lord, how we thank you for this day, and thank you for what you've done, and we thank you for the sacrifice that you made for us to give us your son, and we ask that we would bless us, and thank you for those of us that know the reason for the season and keep that. And Lord, we ask that you would just cover us and cover our city. And as we go through this day making decisions, we ask that you would be in the midst of them. We give you praise, we give you glory, and we give you honor. Thank you for what you've done, Lord, and we praise you in advance for what you're going to do. Is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Taylor. Present. Councilman Brooks. Councilman Talaferro.
Here, ma'am.
Councilman Butcher. Councilman Jackson.
I'm here.
Councilman Green.
I'm here.
And Councilwoman Bowman.
Present.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the Administrative Conference Monday, December 9th, 2024, and the City Council meeting Tuesday, December 10th, 2024?
So, second.
It has been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Vice Chair Green. Any discussion? If not, let's vote.
That passes with 5.
Does any council members have any awards, recognition, or distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes?
I do.
I as well, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Vice Chair Green, then Councilwoman Taylor, then Councilman Talaferro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have our good friend, Mr. Howard, that's here today. Sarah, would you come up?
Mr. DOTD.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming, and I see that you all have been doing some improvement on that 70th Street
Yes, sir.
turn, and I just wanted you to give an update on how it's going.
The trust sign
Yes, sir.
foundation has been put in, and the trust is on order. I don't know exactly what the status on delivery for it is.
Yes, sir.
And the turn lane is open and operational. Yesterday, my signal people, let me introduce you to a little bit of jargon. You know the lights themselves on traffic lights? We call those balls. Well, the green ball, they replaced with a single directional arrow in the outside lane of 70th Street through that section.
Yes, sir.
They also put up a straight only sign underneath it and a turn sign for the turn lane. I was out there this morning. It seems as though we do have a good number of people who decide to turn left out of the travel lane. Did not see any near misses, do not have any data that would indicate that it's a problem, but it is a violation, and we don't do enforcement.
Yes, sir. So when that yellow light, that yellow arrow is on,
Yes, sir.
can you turn on that Because it stays on for a while. Can you turn on it?
It's a flashing yellow arrow, should be.
Yes, sir.
It is, and you are free to make the movement if there is no oncoming traffic.
Okay.
You do not have the right of way. You're protected under a green arrow. But a yellow arrow, you can make a turn with that yellow arrow as long as you have clear access to do it.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Councilwoman Bowman, then Councilman Taylor.
Yes, thank you for coming, Mr. Harrell.
I'm north.
Okay, Mr. North, thank you for coming. So when you exit 3132, there is a concrete barrier. How do you turn when you're getting off of 3132? And I ask because there've been numerous accidents there.
I haven't got any numbers about the number of crashes that there've been there.
No,
Okay, I
yes,
don't
it's been
have
a-
any numbers.
yes, it's been a lot of accidents there.
Okay.
So once you exit 3132 to merge, you can't make the left turn because. the
You can't,
concrete-
it's illegal.
Right. So you're saying the residents have to go all the way down past 70th to turn on Buncombe?
Yes, if they take the slip lane, the lane that goes to the right to exit,
Okay.
the proper way to do it, to go south on Buncombe, is to go to the intersection, turn right, and you can turn right into the turn lane.
Okay, that's a real inconvenience for my constituents. Because what's happening is they're passing it up, they're passing Buncombe Road up, turning into the school where kids are going to school now, if there's school on the corner, the church.
Okay,
But we've had numerous accidents, so I think the DOTD need to do a traffic study there.
do you think, come again?
I mean, it's not my job, but from what I'm seeing, a traffic study actually needs to be done there. It's a pile up there, you can't turn left, and I was behind,
The turn lane is a result of a traffic study.
I know, but it's not working. I mean, I get numerous calls, Councilwoman Taylor's been getting calls, I was behind Green the other day. You can't turn, it's a fatality is waiting to happen.
If you go to the intersection, you can turn into the turn lane.
You
And
can't
once you're in the turn lane, you can make a protected left turn at Buncombe.
How would you cross over?
You don't-
If I'm,
If you take the slip lane now to the right, you're going in the wrong direction.
so-
You have to go to the light.
and so that's
at the
what I'm
exit.
saying, that's the problem.
Right.
Because what has happened is that customarily, individuals were accustomed to, when they, in the turn lane, that they're able to veer over into the left. Now you have this barrier that
Right.
prevents you from doing that. So if I exit to the right, then I'm gonna have to go past the light,
Right.
go up, turn around, and
Yeah.
come back, which is an inconvenience.
Yes, to make a legal maneuver, you would have to do that.
Right. And I'm like, who constructed this?
Yeah.
It was done by a contractor, and it was done so that we can have the Amazon facility down there.
I can understand Amazon being there, but I think that the contractor should have had a little bit better architectural design for that, not to go and make it more inconvenient. If I'm veering off and I'm coming and exiting onto 70th Street and I'm in the right lane, then now I have to wrap my mind around that I need to be in the far left lane in order to go and prepare to make a left turn. So coming off the interstate, that's where the confusion is coming in, and that's why individuals are driving up to the light, not knowing what to do because there isn't any signage there. And so the left lane is turning, and the traffic that is heading west is turning as well. That's where she's talking about you have this influx of accidents that will begin to happen because sooner or later you're going to crash.
Right. It's already been accidents.
I don't have any numbers on how many near misses or crashes that we've had there.
Okay.
I can't speak to that.
Yeah, I'm going to request that from the Shreveport Police Department, but just the residents, my citizens that live there shouldn't be inconvenienced. We welcome the Amazon plant, but it's a big inconvenience there. We already have high traffic there because of the school. We have high traffic because you have Turner down the road, south.
Right.
If you go to the left, you have the other school there in the big church. So I mean, go there like early in the morning, like 7:45, when residents are actually leaving
Correct.
for work or going to those schools. It's a disaster.
It's like, I think until they had put all the signs up and all the signage, I think it should have been closed. But then when they put that hump there, that also made it difficult.
Right.
Because there are some trucks that I've watched at least 7 or 8 mishaps. Because when those trucks come in to turn to go left on Buncombe,
I
then-
saw some today when I was out.
yes, sir, then they got to go up on that hump. And then if a car is in the next lane, then that car is like almost to get pushed over.
Correct.
So until it's-
Crossing over that curb
Yes,
no,
sir.
yes,
is
sir.
an illegal maneuver.
No, what I'm saying is the truck is over because it's on that hump. It's over into the next lane where the car is going
Why is it on
straight.
the hump?
Sir?
Why is it on the hump?
it's
Because
trying
he
to
got
get
a
over.
trailer behind it.
It's not
And
wide
he's
enough.
got to make
No,
that
but I
loop.
mean, if they're crossing that hump to get in that turn lane, that's an illegal maneuver.
No, not crossing it, but the truck, when the truck is in that lane,
Yes,
they can't make that turn like that.
Oh.
So they
short.
got to have some more room.
they may think they can't make the turn, but there's plenty of room there to turn. I watched them, several maneuvers today right there. One by Coca-Cola truck
Yeah. Well,
pulling the trailer.
but I think it should have been closed until all the signage is up. And then once because once you train your brain that you go to the right and you in the lane, then for the people that's coming off of it, that's unaware of it, then when they get in that lane, as you was talking about, they don't know that they can't get over and go left.
Yeah.
So therefore, they got to go all the way down, and people are blowing their horns. And I mean,
My hope is the trust gets here quickly, and we get the signage up.
sir,
My hope is that the trust gets here quickly and we get the signage up because the frame's already there
okay.
for the overhead signage.
Well, just let them know for us that the construction of it was not good construction.
It was
Simply,
what?
it's not good construction because it is an inconvenience to the travelers that travel that way. And so what we're trying to do is veer off collisions. So as soon as you all get the signage up, that will be great. But literally, now it has to be embedded in the brain that if you're in that right lane, then you're only there to go straight. You can't exit to the right and then get over to the left and get over in the left lane because you can't do that because you have a concrete barrier there. So you all also have to understand that that's an inconvenience for the individuals who live in that area, who are accustomed to travel in that area, and that work in that area. That's an inconvenience.
It's kind of, Mr. North, and I'm just saying it to you, it's kind of like they fixed one part and then they realized that part wasn't going to work. They said, okay, well, we got to do this. And then they started on that centerpiece, and as you come up to 70th Street, it seemed like it was a half.
It was well planned and reviewed. I tell you, I know of one place in Baton Rouge, actually South Baton Rouge and Gonzales, where a lane like that is there, and it functions fine. And they have much more traffic than what we do. And that's not an excuse. That's just, there's not anything per se wrong with the design. We're gonna have to wait till there's behavior modification because it's actually capable of handling way more traffic than what it was before.
But when you exit the exit in Gonzales, it's signage there to tell you how to do that. There isn't signage there to tell you how to do that. So that's why it's better, because then they're familiar. And so you have these two arrows that's telling you you can keep straight or you can turn this way. And then naturally, when you turn to the left, then you know you can't get over. When you turn to the right, then you know you can't get over into the 4 left lanes. That's why it's better in Gonzales, because I go there all the time.
Hopefully when the trust arrives, we'll see a change in behavior and everybody will be comfortable with it. And then it'll actually be faster than it was when it was during peak hour than it was before.
Do you actually have a time frame on the signage?
I do not yet.
Okay. Can we get that speedy? It's a lot of traffic there, and it's part of my district, and I would appreciate that.
I will try to find out who it is this is not a DOTD project. This is an Amazon project. Amazon came out of their pocket with all the money for that.
Okay, we
It has
probably
to meet
need
our
it.
criteria. We had to approve the design, which was done through our road section in Baton Rouge. And so it is a DOTD approved project, but it's not a DOTD project.
Okay, okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Councilwoman Taylor?
Mr. Chair, I actually like to invite the representatives from the crew of Imani down. They have a presentation that they want to make to the Shreveport Police Department, so I would ask those in charge to please come forward. So, Mr. Ellis.
Greetings to the mayor and the honorable city councilman and councilman of the great city of Shreveport. I am Larry Ellis, captain and visionary for the Mystic Crew of Imani. My goal along with my co-founders was to create a crew that not only participated in the joyous Mardi Gras festivities, but serve as a platform for fostering unity, pride, and awareness of African heritage and contributions. Our crew was founded with a focus on uplifting local communities through outreach programs, scholarships, and initiatives that address social and economic challenges. At this time, I would like to have Ms. Evelyn Johnson, who is my co-chair of Community Development and Outreach, to make a special presentation and donation.
Good evening. I'm Evelyn Johnson, member of the Mystic Crew of Imani, the newest Mardi Gras crew in Northwest Louisiana. This holiday season, for our inaugural Christmas party, we wanted to party with a purpose. We understand that this time of year can be especially difficult for children, particularly those facing challenging circumstances, such as removal from familiar homes or exposure to trauma. Therefore, we've collected over 250 stuffed animals to donate to the Shreveport Police Department, the Caddo Sheriff's Office, the Shreveport Fire Department, and the Department of Children and Family Services, and we will be doing this throughout the year. We hope these small gestures can bring a little Christmas cheer and comfort to children during this challenging moment. We applaud the tireless work of these departments and recognize the difficult situation they often encounter. We believe these stuffed animals can offer a small measure of comfort to children in need within the Shreveport, our great city.
Phenomenal. Is Chief
Thank you.
Smith and Chief Reese here?
Let me just say, they were too many to bring in.
You should have just brought us a little something, a little something.
Hey, so baby, you too.
Chief Clarence gonna get you. Chief Reese gonna get you. Chief Reese gonna get you, Chief Smith. Yep.
Oh, he coming.
For the purpose of
Chief.
this donation, we met yesterday, as a matter of fact, and talked about
Chief
how the
Reese.
fire
Chief
department is
Smith
never
and all the-
around when you need
Chief-
it.
He's already taking a
He
picture.
got all of them.
Chief done already took the
Before you
picture
go,
and
I'm
left
just
you
telling
out.
you. I'm just telling you.
The pitch is
Need
over.
to get your picture.
Picture over.
Come back here.
We met yesterday.
Not working, I'm sorry.
Where's the fire?
1901 sitting there.
Oh, Lord, not again.
Thank you for
Again.
break.
We met yesterday and we were talking about how the operation is going with Operation Santa Claus, which is what this will support, which is a great venture that's been going on many years with the police department, the fire department, the sheriff's department, the state police. And this year we're slated to service over 1,000 children in the Caddo Parish and the Shreveport community. And that is all due to the help of great people like all of you and our wonderful community that comes forward this time of year to make someone's season the best that it can be. This is heartfelt, and thank all of you
That's awesome.
so much. And I really, really appreciate your efforts not stopping today, because not only does people need support during this holiday season. People need support all year long. So God bless you and thank you so much. And where's the fire department when you need them?
Working, putting out fire.
That is so wrong. No, don't leave. Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave.
Don't leave.
Oh, and Lieutenant Bowman is the one who will assist you and let you know where you can take your donation.
So, would you all introduce everyone that's here? Yes, your crew.
Okay,
Mr. Casey,
this is
Ms. Casey?
my co-captain, Mr. Roderick Casey, one of my founders, his wife, Barbara Casey. We have Miss Evelyn Johnson, Outreach. We have Miss Tamika Fortson here, one of our members. We have my wife. We have Mrs. Golden Ellis, who is one of our founders. We have Miss Helena McDowell. We have Miss Cheryl Williams. And we have Miss Miosha Thomas.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Another one?
Just for the record, Mr. Chair, we have a resolution to recognize Dr. Regina Webb on becoming the first female and African-American Caddo Parish tax assessor. She will be sworn in January 1st, and so today we'll be voting on a resolution recognizing her.
All right. Congratulations, Dr. Webb.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Brooks.
I'd like to bring up Connie Holloman and her staff from Centenary College, please. Good afternoon, Connie.
Good afternoon.
How are y'all? If you would introduce yourself and your staff, please. We have a resolution for your bicentennial today.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are so grateful to be here on behalf of Centenary College. My name is Connie Holloman. My husband, Chris, serves as Centenary's 31st president. And I'm really delighted to have with me today LaToya Pierce, who is our Dean for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and Dr. Karen Soul, Dr. LaToya Pierce, and Dr. Karen Soul, who is our provost and oversees all of our academics at Centenary. And we're very, very honored that you all are having us here today to mark our bicentennial, 200 years.
All right.
Thank you.
Wow.
Congratulations. Thank you, Connie.
Connie, don't go away. We're going to go ahead and read that resolution. Madam Clerk.
Resolution 191 of 2024, a resolution recognizing the bicentennial of Centenary College of Louisiana. Whereas the College of Louisiana was established in 1825 by the state legislature in Jackson, Louisiana, quickly establishing itself as one of the nation's leading colleges. Whereas in 1841, Centenary College opened in Brandon Springs, Mississippi. The merger of these two institutions created Centenary College of Louisiana in 1845, which is today the oldest institution of higher learning in the state. Whereas Centenary College faced challenges during the Civil War, but was revived in the early 20th century with a move to Shreveport in 1908. Whereas throughout its history in Northwest Louisiana, Centenary College has been a leading educator in its region, establishing itself as Shreveport Bolger's College, excelling in providing a premier liberal arts education and preparing students to become global citizens to lead productive lives in vitality and purpose. Whereas Centenary College generates significant economic benefit for the Northwest Louisiana region and enriches the local population with its cultural, intellectual, and athletics activities available to the public. Whereas Centenary College has shown significant growth in enrollment, academic programming, and extracurricular offerings in its last decade and is committed to continued growth and excellence as it enters its third century in 2025. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shreveport in due regular and legal session convened, the City Council joins in celebrating the upcoming bicentennial of Centenary College, officially starting on January 8, 2025, and recognizes its longstanding contributions to higher education, the state of Louisiana, and the Northwest Louisiana community.
Don't go away. Coming down, take a photo. Members of the council, please join me. And Councilwoman.
We're also very grateful to the two council members who represent Centenary, Councilman Taliaferro and Councilman Brooks, and grateful to our mayor as well for his support, and all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
They can
Thank
make a
you
statement
so
if they
much.
like, or are you good?
Anything you'd like to say?
Thank you very much. Thank you for
I
all
think
you
you
do.
captured it.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much. So much.
Good to see you.
Mr. Mayor, we appreciate it.
Does any other council members have any awards, recognitions, or distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes? Mr. Mayor, do you have any awards, recognition, or distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes?
I do not, other than to wish everyone a happy holiday season and a Merry Christmas, and thank you for a good, solid year of cooperation.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, do you have any communications relative to city business?
No, sir.
Reports, does any members have any concerns for property standards? Mr. Green?
Mr. Green, so earlier this week, I understand that we have a ruling on the apartment complexes, which involves Forest Oak, Villa Norte, the Pines, and is it Linwood Homes, which is the old Kings Manor to me, that the judge issued her ruling that was in compliance with the law. I still feel it's still insulting to the residents that this landlord displaced well over 100+ families. And so in looking at the conditions of these apartments, I've seen where there's been some illegal dumping that has taken place, especially at the apartment complex on the Cooper Road, where we're seeing illegal dumping of tires. Had not been by the Villa Norte apartment complex as of the last several weeks, but I did notice some illegal dumping there as well. I realize that the city attorney is probably looking at some other avenues, but I do want to go on the record as saying that it is intolerable what this particular landlord has done to the residents of the city of Shreveport. Totally unacceptable with what he did and how he displaced our residents. And if it was left up to me, he would never, ever do business in the city of Shreveport. That type of individual doesn't deserve to be a landlord for anyone. Quality housing is a real issue within the city of Shreveport. Affordable housing is essential for individuals that get up and go to work every day. And just knowing what he did and how he left our city is insulting. It's the best word that I'm going to use today, so other ones will not be bleeped out. So could you tell me at any point, as we're looking at these illegal dumping, because I've asked for cameras at some of these apartment complexes, until we find a buyer or whoever the buyer is going to be, what is it that we can do in the interim to kind of curtail this? Because I know we've had 2 fires, I believe. Well, one with the Pines and I think the other one with Linwood Homes, which is also apartment complexes that he owns. What else is it that we can do to try to distract individuals from coming in and further destroying these properties?
Well, we're gonna start cleaning up the properties within the next 3-4 weeks. Most of the time is up on everything anyway. I believe Chief Smith is looking at possible cameras, and I think the fire chief is looking at helping him put them up high.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that's going to be the main things. Plus, city attorney's been in contact with some of the attorneys and representatives of those apartment complexes.
Okay. Because we know that there are eyesores, and Attorney Edwards knows this already as well. Eyesores in predominantly African-American neighborhoods is where you're seeing this. And as I understand now, the chief is battling another fire, and we've had several fires this week as it relates to these apartment complexes. I don't know what else it is that we can do within the law, but I do want for us, and I know that I asked about cameras for that, and I don't know if Chief Smith is still here, but I asked for cameras around those apartment complexes for where we were legally allowed to put them. So at least we could try to catch the culprits from that's doing this. Because what I don't want to do is risk the lives of our firefighters going into these buildings and not having any other recourse for this individual who owes the city already hundreds of thousands of dollars. So are we looking at anything else?
First of all, Councilwoman Taylor,
Yes,
first
go
of all,
ahead.
Councilwoman Taylor, I want to start by saying that I agree with every word that you said.
Thank you.
Every word. Yesterday, we had a meeting with Chief Smith, Chief Reese, and Mr. Green. At that point, there had been 3 fires in 3 days at abandoned multi-unit apartment complexes in the city of Shreveport. According to Chief Reese, we've now had 4 fires in 4 days. There were 2 at Oak Meadows on Tuesday and Thursday. There was a fire at the Pines on Monday and a fire at Linwood Homes on Wednesday. That's obviously very troubling. We had some discussions about the potential causes of those fires, and both Chief Smith and Chief Reese are working on that. But we also talked about what to do next. There were discussions about placing cameras both for fire investigations and for SPD on city-owned poles, light poles nearby. They're identifying places to place those cameras. We've reached out to either the owner or the lender or the keeper of each relevant property in the last 24 hours regarding steps that can be taken and need to be taken to secure the property. We had a lot of discussion about the ability of the police department to remove squatters from these properties. And one of the challenges is that we have to coordinate an SPD operation with a private securing of a property, because if they do a sweep and then the property isn't secure, you got about 6 hours and then it's right back to being in the state that it was in prior to that.
Right.
An example at Oak Meadows is that although it took quite a while to board up the windows and board up the doors and those sorts of things, now that that has taken place, individuals are burrowing under the walls
Yes.
to get in, and SPD, who has done some operations out at Oak Meadows, had some just shocking photos of a very well boarded up facility that now has a hole underneath where it's boarded up so that people can tunnel in underneath and then get in through the stairwells, and then they're pulling out the wire. I mean, it's the challenge now is going to be to coordinate some SPD operations with securing of the facility so that we can actually get a facility that's protected for a period of time. I will say that Oak Meadows is under contract to be purchased. We're trying to confirm whether or not the 4 Amherst Shreveport Holdings properties are now under contract. We are moving forward to try to do our best to make sure that we are already coordinating with the potential buyers. We put them in contact with permits. We put them in contact with community development. We're trying to do the best that we can to get these properties into the hands of some responsible owners. But I really do want to thank Chief Smith, Chief Reese, and Mr. Green, as well as Ms. Bonnie Moore, for all the help that they provide in trying to do that. We're still trying to get our arms around this problem, but I assure you, it's all hands on deck.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for the explanation.
I appreciate that very much. I want our citizens to know for certain that your voices are being heard. Slumlords irk the heck out of me. And coming into our city, doing what you're doing, and leaving residents in turmoil. But not only that, that after these properties are vacated, they're eyesores, which now we're seeing is another haven for criminal activity that you all have to deal with when you could actually use your resources for something else. So as expeditiously as we know the keepers or whoever it is that are planning to buy these apartments, they need to move on it so they can get this out of the city's hands, take care of this, restore the vitality to those areas, do whatever it is that they need to do. Because as I said, this is predominantly in inner city neighborhoods, and they don't deserve to see this piece of trash that is sitting up here, because if it was my choice, I'd bulldoze them all.
I heard you mention about cameras. We had an awesome meeting yesterday, and we found a local source to purchase some cameras for immediate use. Obviously, our more long-term solutions that take a lot longer, we've got equipment ordered, but we found a local source where we can go and get something immediately, probably tomorrow, and we'll be putting up some stuff immediately around those locations.
Okay, you keep me updated as it relates to that?
Yes,
That'll
ma'am.
be fine. Thank you
Sure
all
will.
so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Everyone should have received the revenue plan implementation report from finance. Public hearing, there are none. Madam Clerk, will there be any legislation added to the agenda today?
No, sir.
Today, we will have public comments on non-agenda items and agenda items only. Vice Chair, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, sir. We have Mr. Kenneth Kraft.
Can you come back to him?
Huh?
Can you come back to him?
Yes. Mr., I hope I pronounced your name right, Rolando Roby. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was going to say. Come on up, sir. Welcome to the City Council meeting. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Rolando Robledo, and I'm here to talk about the concrete crushing company directly across the street from my house. 5 years ago, they opened up. I've been battling with y'all for 5 years. Since this 5 years, about to lose my voice. I've lost all my teeth, and I have cirrhosis of the liver, and I have skin fungus, thanks to this concrete crushing company that y'all allow to work across the street from my house, 45 feet from my house. I have to breathe it, hear it, feel it all day while they're working. And I'm back again to bitch about it.
Is the concrete company operable every day?
Every day. They have these machines that are dumping concrete into a box and they dump these chunks of concrete in there, and it comes out on belts and gravel, and then they make piles 3 stories high of crushed concrete.
Where is the company located?
Corner of Midway and Mansfield Road, half a block from the school board.
What is, excuse me, what is your address, sir?
2421 Midway.
And if I may ask before you call, how long have you lived there, sir?
35 years. You see these places under I-20, you see them under I-49, you see them out in the middle of the country, nowhere with no houses around. Yet y'all allow this one company to work right across the street from my house. And it's okay.
And do you know the name of the company, sir? You may have said it and I missed it.
The name of the company?
Yes, sir.
I've got
And we can find out. We can find out. If you don't have it, we can find out.
Okay, well, I mean, Mr. Clark had a comment one time of, they got to do it somewhere. That was a really good comment. I asked Mr. Clark, well, why don't they do it in front of your house? He said, no, they can't do it in front of my house because I live in residential. Well, one side of Midway is residential, and one side of Midway is industrial. Used to be Midway Marina right there. It's the quietest business you ever heard. You didn't hear them. All they did is show boats and sell them. Now we got all the concrete in the city of Shreveport and Bossier come in there and dump it. When the trucks dump it onto the ground, it shakes my house. My roof is cracking, my window sills are cracking. Just one thing after another. And I don't think I'm going to be making too many more of these meetings because now my throat is leaving me. My teeth are all gone. So I don't know. How long can we let this go till I die? Maybe. Looks that way. Don't mean to be angry or rude, but I'm tired of living like this.
Sir, thank you for coming. Your time is up. Mr. Clark, would you come, please? Mr. Clark, would you like to address anything that was said?
Councilman Green, I would just like to clear the record. I have never told anybody that something has to go in front of their house, and it could not go in front of my house. My house is not even in the city of Shreveport. But this situation has been going on for probably about 4 or 5 years. When they came in, the property that the rock crushing operation is operating from is zoned industrial. It's not the best situation. That's why we're trying to update the master plan and update the future land use map at this time, because he's exactly right. You have residents on one side, the south side of Midway, and you have these industrial sites on the the north side of Midway. These are temporary use permits. Mr. Dillard came back after, and I wish I'd known this was coming up. I would have had exact information, but he came up and applied for the special, the temporary use permit. Temporary use permit was approved finally, but it was approved for 3 years, I think, or maybe 5. And once that expired, he came back, and the board recommended that he be reissued another temporary use permit. The thing that nobody ever talks about is there are all type of mitigation tools that are being used to soften the effect on the houses across the street. We did not ignore the houses across the street. We were very conscious of the houses across the street. Other city departments got involved. This gentleman has to notify the city of Shreveport whenever he's going to do any rock crushing. It's my understanding that he doesn't do rock crushing often. It's sort of on an as-needed basis, if I remember correctly. Most of his contracts were from the city of Shreveport. But they have a system where the dust has to be controlled they have trucks that put water on the concrete when it's being prepared to be crushed. We've done some of everything, trying to make this as livable as possible. That's just, and I'll say it again to you, that's just one of those cases where poor zoning was laid down, and that's what we're working with, and that happened long before me. But he has a right to have a rock crusher on industrial property, but we made it so he could only have a temporary use, so it will never be permanent. He has to come back and we review what has happened and look at the complaints that have been issued, and that's presented to the board, and that's the information they use to make a recommendation. He wanted permanent approval, and the MPC refused permanent approval because we did not want to subject those citizens to this forever and ever. It's basically all I can share with you just on the fly, Councilman Green.
Thank you. I think we had a question from Councilwoman.
Yeah. Mr. Clark, this is very concerning to me because I stopped the company from coming on the corner of Cary and Lakeshore. The elderly came down and said they already had health problems, were already having difficulties. So this is very concerning to me when you start messing with people's quality of life, especially elderly and kids. It bothers me. So I think we do need to meet and figure out, we've been talking about the master plan, but see what can we do to make sure more of this don't happen. It's becoming a problem. I think it's a small problem now, but it's going to be a bigger problem.
If I may.
Yes.
And those are some of the things that updating the master plan are addressing. If we had done it properly, the master plan would have been updated every 5 years. We just updated the master plan after 13 years. So we have not kept up. We would have been more in line with what's happening. The situation on Cary and Lakeshore was somebody just put concrete blocks and tree trunks on a piece of land without any permission. And we cannot prevent somebody from breaking the law. We can only address it when they do break it.
Right. And we have a lot of issues with that.
I have a lot of them too.
Yeah. If you ride all over this city, we have zoning problems all over the city. And it's not going to change tomorrow. But when it's time for budget time, we approve the budget, but we don't see any results. I just have to be transparent on that. We got some issues right now that we have citizens here about a liquor store. We get all these little things just popping up, and no one wants to take accountability for it.
We've taken accountability for every liquor store that has applied since you all adopted the liquor amendment. We're going strictly by the amendment. Every blue moon, with the system that we have in place, a liquor store will meet the measurements and the requirements. But as I shared with you on a previous meeting, we had 12 liquor stores to apply, including grocery stores, and only 2 had been approved. The other 10 had been denied. So I think, and maybe I'm totally wrong, I think that with those type of statistics, the ordinance is working. It's not perfect, but it's, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I believe that we have addressed some of the concerns about liquor stores and neighborhoods.
Okay, I'm going to yield today, but the first of the new year, I am going to be looking for changes in the MPC. So anybody that has a problem with it, I'm going to just be honest with you. We get too many complaints on a daily basis being a council person, and most of the complaints are zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Yeah, Mr. Clark, Councilman Brooks had a question.
I'm sorry, you said the master plan is normally or should be updated every 5 years?
Yes, sir.
Why has it been 13?
We could not get the funding in order to update the master plan. We always had it as an unfunded need in the budget. It was never addressed. It just happened to be addressed in the council just before you. And Councilwoman Taylor was one of the persons that sponsored the requirement to appropriate funds for the master plan update. And that's how we got it done this time.
Okay.
And that's how we started addressing a lot of the problems that may not be seen as we are addressing, but that's how we've started the process. And once this process is completed, we will go back into the Unified Development Code. We will change the future land use map, and a lot of things that are happening won't be happening, whether I'm here or not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Green.
Miss Sharon Borkins. Ms. Borkins, welcome to the meeting. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Sharon Boykins. I am a resident of Shreveport, and I own a business and a ministry in the Cedar Grove area. And I'd like to thank you guys for allowing me to speak. I came today because my concern is still pertaining to the next, the second facility that's going to be holding liquor, selling liquor on 70th Street, East 70th Street. Basically, I may be talking about one of the ones that they just approved. I'm not sure, but 369 East 70th Street is the corner of Fairfield and 70th Street. And in that area, you have 5 ministries. You have the driving school, in which I am the owner. I've been in Cedar Grove. I placed my business from Jewella Avenue to East 70th Street to come back into the community from which I was raised, so that I could bring business back into our community. And I think it's so unfair for me to have to deal with another liquor store. That'll be 3 liquor stores. That'll be, let's see, we got, Apollo has been there for, since forever. So I don't have a problem with Apollo. But then we have the one that's next door to the driving school, and I serve minors as well as DWI students as well as adults. But I'm more concerned about the ministries, and I'm more concerned about the youth being able to just walk next door to a facility that they can purchase liquor. The amount of feet from where my business is to the one that's at 369 that's trying to come under radar, I'm believing. They say about 325 feet. Well, I think 25 feet is still too close. 300 feet is still too close. We don't need any more liquor stores in the community of 500 feet. We don't need any more liquor stores. And if I have to petition, and I'm getting one drawn up right now as I speak, if I have to petition and walk the streets of Cedar Grove myself, I see our community is going down, and we're trying to build it up because you guys, as the Councilman Brooks, we're trying to build it up. You've tried to build it up. You're trying to keep it up. But to bring more alcohol and liquor, I don't care if it's beer, wine, or whatever it is, it still deals with the mind. I won't go through the educational part of it. You have to take a class with me. But nevertheless, it is not good in our community to have not one more liquor store. And I'm 62, and I plan on being around for a long time. And if I have to die, I'm not gonna leave here with knowing that they have placed any more liquor stores in our community. My question to you, and I know I got 30 seconds.
Ms. Borkins, your time is up. What's your question?
My question is, if it was you, would you want your child or would you want your business to be surrounded by 5 liquor stores? That's my question.
Don't leave.
Thank you.
Don't leave.
Thank you.
What do you know what the 3rd liquor store is?
So what now?
Do you know the name of the 3rd liquor store?
Yes, the third liquor store is gonna be Pull Up 5. And it's not listed as Pull Up 5 liquor store. It's just Pull Up 5. So when you look for it, you're not gonna find it in the records that says Pull Up 5 liquor store. You're just gonna see Pull Up 5. And so that's one of the ways that people are getting under the radar of doing what they want to do in the city of Shreveport. It took me.
Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Pull Up 5 liquor store. Mr. Clark, I want to know if Pull Up 5 liquor store is any way associated with Pull Up Liquor, which is one that I fought against in my district, that I'm sick of this liquor store coming in like this. Listen, for the most part, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. And the answer to your question is no. I would not want a liquor store on either side of me where I have children and doing this. And I've tried to fight, along with council members from the previous council and this one, against all of that. But that particular liquor store has been one that pops up under the radar that we definitely need to pay attention to.
Thank you.
If I may, Chair. Ms. Boykins, how long have you been in business there?
I've been in business for 24 years. April the 11th will be 25 years. Now, I changed my tax number in 2012, so if you want to be politically correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right then.
I'll be paying you a visit. We can visit some more.
I do appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hold on, Ms.
Sharon.
Boykins. Councilwoman.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
When you were here a couple of months ago, it might have been 3 months ago, and you had heard of this liquor store, is this the same one that Mr. Clark said was not going to happen?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Clark, has this liquor store been approved? Because to my knowledge, you said it wasn't because of the church was 100 feet from it.
They always popping up. They always popping up somewhere.
Rock crushing everything.
Yeah, they always popping up.
I'm doing good. Good to see you.
There were 2 applications for liquor stores on 7th Street. One did not make the measurement based on the fact that it was within 300 feet of a church. The other one met the measurements, and that's why it was approved. We have, the state that does measuring. We do the measurements for ABO, and we looked at it over and over because I didn't want to be standing up here. But it met all the measurements, and there was nothing we could do but allow it to go through the process. So the one I was talking about got denied.
What's the address of the one that was approved?
I can't, I don't know it right offhand. I
It's
apologize.
next door to the church?
It was the one that got approved met the 300 feet requirements and the 200 feet from residential and the 1,000 feet from the next nearest liquor store.
How long would it take you to get that information?
Sir,
How long would it take you to get that information?
do you want it today?
Yes, please.
I can go upstairs and get it.
Okay, we'll call you back up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boykins.
Mr. Kenneth Kraft. Mr. Kraft, welcome to the meeting. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. Kenneth Kraft, 157 Archer Avenue. I'm going to start with the poem and finish with some serious stuff, about 90 seconds each. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled in for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutter and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick that I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and they whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. It's dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle and mount to the sky. So up to the housetop, his coursers they flew with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. Then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my hand and was turning around down the chimney, St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung at his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his sack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a... His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of
jelly.
He was chubby and plump. I'm a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, went straight to his work, and he filled all the stockings, and he turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all."
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you all for that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Came today is a nice picture of you and that. Is that your steady girlfriend?
She's been my steady girlfriend for about 31 years.
Thank you. And on the serious side, just think about fees, because the $7 garbage fee would need to be $9.24 today to be $7. Think about inflation instead of set fees. Everybody have a good year. Thanks for working with all. I've always enjoyed the duty y'all do, and especially this gentleman. And the decorations out front are very pretty. I don't know who to credit, the grounds crew, but that's very nicely done.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Ken.
Mr. Bernie Woods. Mr. Woods, welcome to the Shreveport City Council meeting. You have 3 minutes. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Bernie Woods, 3001 Curtis Lane, Shreveport, Louisiana. And thank you, Coach. Nice to see you. Thank you, City Council. I'm here today to talk about the liquor store situation also that's on, the new one that's proposed on Line Avenue out there. I'm not opposed to liquor store. I own 2 liquor stores. I'm opposed to too many liquor stores. And what I want to say is that the City Council and MPC need to address the fact that a marketplace can only hold so many. This business about 1,000 feet, 100 feet, 300 feet, that's not going to be the answer to solving this issue, because if you think about it, it's 5,280 feet in a mile, and if you put one every 1,000 feet, you can have 5 liquor stores within 1 mile. And in some cases, that's happening right out there on North Market. This marketplace, Shreveport, cannot stand a liquor store every 1,000 feet. And to say that because that is your measurements, and I don't know where that 1,000 feet came from, but I can tell you, it should not be the measure. Somebody need to look at what is the number of liquor stores versus the number of people, and whether or not the market will hold that many. If you keep putting liquor stores that close, all you're going to have is abandoned buildings. You're going to have liquor stores like mine that is going to close the doors. Since I got that liquor store that I fought hard and that you approved on Kings Highway, there's been at least 3 right close to me. And I hadn't been in business long over there. That store up there at Super One is a gigantic liquor store, and my customers are going up there, which means my business is suffering. The one that's on Line Avenue, that's supposed to be a deli, Raoul's, that's a liquor store. And so that's another one that's been approved. Now, my question is this: how are they getting approved without, number one, the local people who live in the residence not know about it. I had to post signs up and put them out there notifying everybody that a liquor store was coming and the zoning changing. It appears to me that these just coming up without anybody knowing about them. And so what I would like to know is, how is it that they do that? They get away with putting them up there without notifying and posting those signs, that's one. And then the other thing is that, for a fact, there are enough liquor stores within the community. You need to look at whether or not the community needs more. It's not about whether it's by right, or you're just gonna put one every 1,000 feet just because that's what the ordinance say. That ordinance needs to be changed. So I'm not opposed to liquor stores, I'm opposed to too many. And I will tell you for a fact, we have enough, and too many to be exact. We have enough liquor stores, especially within our communities.
Thank you, Mr. Woods.
Vice Chair.
That concludes public speaking, Mr. Chair.
We have no executive appointments to consider today. There are no items on the consent agenda
Mr.
or
Clark
to be
is back
adopted.
if you want to do him.
Mr. Clark, did you get that information?
Before I give you the information, may I ask you a question?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
We just need to know, what does the council want to do about liquor stores? Do we need to find a way to prohibit them? We've made it extremely difficult for a person to come in and apply for a liquor store. We stopped doing them as special exception uses, and that's what Mr. Woods is talking about, where everybody, as long as they met the state measurements of being 300 feet from a school, church, daycare, so we made ours even more stricter than the state's requirements. And like I shared with you, unfortunately, and we'll get the blame for it forever, but unfortunately, it's like the deja vu downtown. There were strict measurements with sexual-oriented business, but one sneaked in because it met all the requirements. And I went up to Cherokee Park, Councilwoman Taylor will remember, that liquor store just met the measurements. It was not near residents, it was not near another liquor store, it was on a main thoroughfare, it was on a highway. But we need to know, we're not just dropping liquor stores wherever somebody wants to place one. If we don't want any more liquor stores, you have to share that with us.
So, Mr. Clark, I think it's been said numerous times before, the current ordinance is not working. I completely understand what you're coming from. You're simply looking at the ordinance and just doing your due diligence. I think there needed to be another aspect to that ordinance. Mr. Bernie Wood said it pretty eloquently. It's about market share. We pretty much have too many liquor stores in a mile radius. So that ordinance is just not working. Then the other thing, we're looking at the consumers. Who is going to consume all of these liquors? How are all of these liquor stores going to make money? And these liquor stores, many of them have to be in the African-American community. So we're expecting them to consume more liquors because we're putting more liquor stores in those communities. So we just need to revisit that ordinance because currently it's not working. We need a human aspect to understand that right now there's just too many in the given area. And that has been said numerous times. What I don't like is that this particular liquor store is approved and is nothing that the city council can do about it because they met all the requirements. So we have to go back to the requirements. The requirements is the problem. It's going to be a tough time for us to explain to our citizens in our district that this liquor store is nothing Allen Jackson City Council can do about it because we had a requirement. This liquor store met the requirements, and therefore we had to approve it. That's pretty much what you're saying at the MPC. So we have to go back again to those requirements because it's not working and the citizens aren't happy.
And we've been examining the possibility, and we're going to get with the city attorney, by adding every liquor store has to receive a special use permit along with all of the other requirements that are attached to getting liquor store approval. And that would mean it would have to go before the Zoning Board of Appeals, and it could be appealable to the city council. We've been, we're thinking about trying to pull that together for 2025. I just needed some direction.
Councilwoman Taylor.
Mr. Clark, two things when we did the moratorium on the liquor stores. One thing in looking at the study as it relates to liquor store is that there isn't a need for an oversaturation of liquor stores in African-American communities. We are not the overwhelming consumers of liquor, contrary to what many may think. It's what some people advertise, but we are not the overwhelming consumer of that. And that's one thing that we talked about when we did the moratorium on that. We did not want an oversaturation of liquor stores in these areas because that is where they keep popping up. Who needs 3 liquor stores in a block? Seriously. No one needs that. It is not that much liquor in the world. You have the same community that you will tell, and it is my soapbox, that you can't get fresh fruits and vegetables, but you can get malt liquor. And it doesn't make any sense. And if we didn't see it through COVID, the disparity that we have when it comes to liquor stores and in Black and brown communities, I mean, it is horrific when we see that. And so we're back at this same place again, where we tried to avoid when we did the moratorium on that. I would be just like Ms. Borkins, literally just pissed, simply because I have to walk out of my church and on the side of me is this. Down the block is here. We already have one that's been here 250 years. I know I had 9 in my community. So at that point, just as Mr. Wood said, when do we sit here and say, okay, this is not even economically feasible to keep putting this here? This is not a market for this. It's not a market to keep having this much liquor in this said community.
I would respond.
To your point, to the store on North Market, the community spoke overwhelmingly against that liquor store. Not only that, that liquor store went and got them a lawyer to appeal and talked about how much this councilwoman and then Commissioner Jackson fought against that because the community didn't want it. Because we have thrifty liquor on one side, then you have another liquor store, Butts and whatever, right down the street. Then you had Brookshire's that sell. Then you have the other grocery store right here. We have enough liquor.
Yeah, and agree, Councilwoman Taylor, this ordinance removes the aspect of the people to voice their concerns. Right. This ordinance simply says if it fits, it's approved. Mm-hmm. And that's not an ordinance that we can continue with. It just because it fits doesn't mean that it needs to get approved. The people who live in that area who's going to be patronizing or not patronizing that business needs to have a say-so on whether or not the business can come to that area.
And Councilman Jackson, I have no problems with that. And that's why I was sharing with you, we need to look in 2025 with possibly adding another step to liquor stores being approved. And that step would include getting the neighborhoods of the citizens involved and a path to you, if it gets that far, to address whether or not the liquor store is permitted.
Yeah. Mr. Clark, respectfully, we can't do this anymore. For 2 years, you've been saying the same thing. I say throw the whole MPC out and start over. For 2 years, I've been sitting right here talking about the liquor stores. We're not going to dance around this no more. We got to make a change starting the beginning of 2025. We can dance around and be politically correct, apologize, but it's not working. And what's happening is the citizens are bearing this. Right now in my district, I had a daycare never was registered, now it's an event center. Y'all are getting paid, the MPC, you got directors, you got officers that's supposed to be out there. We're not getting our bang for our buck. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being as transparent. I'm gonna say what everybody else wants to say. I'm sick of it. For 2 years, I've been sitting here and you've been saying the same thing about these liquor stores. You sat right here and told us that store was not going to be approved. It's not working.
The store that was not approved was located at 261 East 70th Street. It was not approved because it was within 1,000 feet of another liquor store. And that's right in the area that the lady's talking about. So I personally took a ride out there myself to make sure that it would meet the measurements or would not meet the measurements. And like I've shared with you, we, short of outlawing liquor stores, we will have to come up with another step to meet the desires of the citizens. Right. And that's what this process is all about with the master plan.
Attorney Edwards,
Ma'am?
then we need to look at whatever stipulation that we can, right, in order to do what we need to do in this process, to give the neighborhood some teeth in the game.
Yes, ma'am. I'm hearing from this discussion that one of the things that's being requested is an opportunity for the neighborhood to be heard.
Correct.
And I will absolutely work with Mr. Clark and SPD on this. We're already supposed to be working with Mr. Sabo about reorganizing the ABO process, which is slightly different but related. And so we will all be in touch about what to do and how to best set this up going forward.
And I would say it for the record, I do not want an oversaturation of liquor stores in African-American, minority communities, people of color, where they tend to target. I do not want that.
And your point is well taken.
One more question for Councilwoman
Right.
Bowman.
Since you're up, Mr. Clark, I have one question, because I did receive your email, and thank you, on the Dollar General. That's another problem. Once it's zoned for something, another Dollar General is coming into my district. And the problem, I have no problem with the dollar stores. I shop there. But they're dirty. They don't keep up their property. It's another problem. So what can we do about that? Because right now I got another Dollar General coming on Jefferson Page that I had no control on. It's already zoned for that. But if we know these companies are already a problem, why would we add more?
I don't know what we can do if someone has a right to place something on a piece of property that they own.
Okay,
I don't know what we as the MPC can do to prevent them from opening up a building or constructing something that they have a right to do based on the zoning district.
Okay, are y'all holding them accountable for all the dirt, the trash, the boxes? If you go in the store, you can't even move. It's boxes all over the store. I mean, what can we do to what can we do to change the situation? That's the help I need.
I understand. We did an ordinance that dealt with, because of the outside conditions, dealt with paper and trash and other things in the parking lot was against the zoning ordinance. And we cited the liquor stores. We made sure that they maintained their landscaping. As far as going inside, and I'll have to, again, get with the attorneys, I don't know if we can go in there and tell them exactly how to set up the interior of their stores.
Okay, I'll be happy if we can get the outside under control, to be honest with you. If we can just get them to pick up their paper, get the boxes from all around, the dumpsters are overloaded, you got boxes all down the road. If we can just deal with the outside, I'll be happy. But then we get new businesses come in, we want all these shrubberies, we want this, we want that. But then you go look at some of the existing business, once they get there, it's not kept up. So I want your department to make sure once they come in and do business in our city, they keep up their property just like at my home. I gotta keep my property to a certain standard. The same thing we need for these businesses.
And I agree with you, and I will check to determine exactly why we are not monitoring the dollar stores.
Right.
And their
So-
parking lots.
So your next meeting, talk to your employees. They receive a paycheck from the MPC. Their funding is on the chopping board. We can't keep giving money and don't see any results. So everybody that's making a living, working for the MPC, you to let them know. I mean, we gotta see a change, just the bottom line.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. There are no items on the consent agenda or for introduction or to be adopted. Madam Clerk, would you please proceed with regular agenda legislation?
Resolution 191, recognizing the Bicentennial of Centenary College of Louisiana.
Been moved by Councilman Talaferro, second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Let's vote.
That passes with 6.
Resolution 192, authorizing an amendment to the Act of Donation from the North Shreveport Bossier Business Association, and this needs to be postponed.
Why does it need to be postponed?
It needs to lay over for 2 weeks, and we just introduced it last week.
Okay.
Motion to postpone. Been motioned by the chair, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Passes with 6.
Resolution 193, requiring a 2/3 majority vote of the city council to change the use of property designated for the North Shreveport Public Safety Substation. This also needs to be postponed.
Motion to postpone. Motion by the chair to postpone, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Passes with 6.
Resolution 194, ratifying the execution of certain documents and instruments relative to community development block grant agreement between the city of Shreveport, Galilee City Affordable Housing, and this will also needs to be postponed.
So move.
Motion to postpone by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote to postpone.
Passes with 6.
Resolution 195, to adopt the Caddo Parish Hazard Mitigation Plan update. You can vote on these. You can
So
vote.
move.
Second.
Been moved by the chair, second by Vice Chair Green. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Passes with 6.
Resolution 196, a resolution to allocate funds to specific not-for-profit organizations for the funds budgeted and other charges in the 2025 Riverfront Development Special Revenue.
Been
Second.
moved by Councilwoman Bowman, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Passes with 6.
Resolution 197, to recognize Dr. Regina Webb on becoming the first female and African-American Caddo Parish tax assessor.
So move.
Second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
It passes with 6.
Congratulations again, Dr. Webb.
Resolution 198, to amend Resolution Number 169 of 2024, which established a charter review committee.
Second.
Moved by the chair, second by Councilman Talaferro. Discussion. This is simply just extending the date. I'm gonna kind of let the city attorney kind of explain that date. At the end of the meeting, I will be establishing the committee and announcing those committee members.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The date that's in the resolution is the deadline to make the ballot for the May municipal election. March 10 is the last date that a proposition can be submitted to make the May ballot, assuming the decisions of the committee are made by that point. It would be able to be submitted to make the May ballot. If not, ordinance 169 allows for another extension. Sorry, resolution 169 allows for the chair to extend to whatever amount of time is necessary. But this right now extends the deadline or extends the life of the committee until the deadline for the May municipal election.
Thank you. Any questions for the city attorney? If there's no further discussion, let's vote.
That passed with 6.
Okay, wait.
I caught you sleeping, Gary. I caught you sleeping.
Madam Clerk, would you please proceed with introduction of resolutions not to be adopted prior to January 14, 2024?
Prophet, I know you're waiting on me, Gary.
Resolution 199, authorizing the mayor to execute a license and maintenance agreement with Azteca System LLC City Works. Resolution 200, authorizing the mayor to execute a supplemental agreement with McKim and Creed to provide engineering services relative to water modeling. Resolution 201, authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the city of Shreveport and the state of Louisiana of the Treasury. This is for city lighting upgrades. Resolution 202, authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor between the city of Shreveport and the state of Louisiana Department of Treasury. This is for A.B. Palmer Park. Resolution 203, authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor between the city of Shreveport and the state of Louisiana Department of Treasury. This is for Independence Stadium. And Resolution 204, authorizing a request to be made to the Louisiana Department of Natural Resources, Louisiana State Mineral and Energy Board to seek public bids for an oil, gas, and mineral lease involving a property located in District G, described herein, to execute the lease for certain mineral interests owned by the city of Shreveport, and to authorize the mayor to execute any and all documents related to the intent of this resolution.
Discussion, Councilwoman Taylor?
So moved on introduction.
It has been moved for introduction. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Chair Green.
Mr. Norman. I have 2 questions. Can you tell me where we are as far as our lights? Because our city is still dark. And I know that we are receiving a number of calls. And so in looking at this particular ordinance, and we're talking about lighting upgrades within the city, what I'm concerned with are our interior lights in the city, some that are on the interstate. And if we can get an update as to where we are on those, I would greatly appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. We're, as far as the interstate lighting goes, I mean, we're really close to being finished with the Cross Lake Bridge lighting. There's still a few things that have to be finished up with it, which, takes us all the way from I-49 to down to Lake Shore. We're South Lake Shore. We're, also have been working very hard on the stuff up at the 40, up in the MLK area on the 49, and those with the, the lights related to it all the way back to North Market. So we're working on it.
Okay.
And as far as the other lighting, we've changed, just finished changing probably 60 plus heads to LED lighting on the interchanges downtown at Spring Street and I-20 in that one, and I've got other more ordered to be able to to finish up some more on it. We've done the Parkway on the south end. We had to order more fixtures to finish the north end, which I know you've asked about before, north of 12 Mile Bayou, so we're working on it. We've identified numerous lighting that need to be addressed in the inner neighborhood type areas that we're waiting for SWEPCO to be able to take action on that. But we continue to push and monitor that. The police department's worked with us to identify those that aren't working, and we turn those over to SWEPCO and continue to call about them. We still have some neighborhoods that we've requested that they do. Several of them in Ms. Bowman's area that we're working on that we're still waiting for SWEPCO to change out. Interstate 20 itself is that's something that the infrastructure on it is just extremely bad, and we need to do with Interstate 20 what we've done with the Cross Lake Bridge and all, which is replace all the wiring and all with it. So we've got some money that we hope will work as a match to be able, with some of the bond issue stuff to help secure additional funding to be able to work with it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, on the water, I received a call. Is there going to be a 5% increase on the water bill in January?
No, ma'am, y'all would have to approve that.
Okay, thank you. Just want to clear that for the record.
Madam Clerk, would you please proceed with introduction on ordinance not to be adopted prior to January 14, 2024?
Ordinance 159, zoning case number 24-61C, rezoning property located east side of the West Canal Boulevard, approximately 280 feet south of West 70th Street, R17 Single Family Residential Zoning District, C2 Corridor Commercial Zoning District. Ordinance 160, zoning case 24-126C, rezoning property located on the north side of Hathaway Lane, approximately 430 feet west of Forbin Road, from R17 Single Family Residential to R1CZD Single Family Residential Conditioning Zoning District. Ordinance 161, zoning case number 24-165C, rezoning property located southwest corner of Henderson Avenue and Piermont Road from R17 Single Family Zoning District to C3 General Commercial Zoning District. Ordinance 162, zoning case number 24-175C, rezoning property located on the south side of Broad Acres Road, approximately 1,480 feet west of Bronco Road, from R17 Single Family Zoning District to RA Rural Agricultural Zoning District. Ordinance 163, zoning case 24-182C, rezoning property located north side of Greenwood Road, approximately 600 feet east of Hutchinson Street, from C3 General Commercial Zoning District to R17 Single Family Residential Zoning District to C4 Heavy Commercial Zoning District. Ordinance 164, zoning case 24-189C, rezoning property located at the east side of Lakeshore Drive, approximately 630 feet south of Dale League, from R17 Single Family Residential District, Zoning District, C1 Neighborhood Commercial Zoning District.
Is there a motion to approve these ordinances?
So move.
Introduce.
Introduced, I'm sorry. It was moved by Vice Chair Green. Second by Councilman Talaferro. These ordinances have been introduced. Madam Clerk, would you please proceed with ordinance on second reading and final passage?
Ordinance 40, an ordinance authorizing the lease of portions of Stage Works of Louisiana, a city-owned property, to G Unit Film and Television Louisiana, LLC.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, City Attorney.
I would like to request that this ordinance be postponed till the second meeting in January, which I believe would be January 28th. I do hope and expect that this would be the last postponement.
You said that last time.
2 times ago, I said it. Last time I said I didn't know.
Motion to postpone until January 28th. It has been motioned by the chair, second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Okay. There's no further discussion about the last time. Let's go ahead and vote.
This passes with 6.
Ordinance 115, zoning case 24-91C, rezoning property located at the east side of Lotus Lane, approximately 230 feet north of Standard Oil Road, from RMHP Residential Manufactured Home Park Zoning District to RMHP Spud Residential Manufactured Home Park Small Plant Unit Development Zoning District.
Motion to deny.
Has been motion to deny.
We need
by-
a motion to adopt and then a no vote, if you want to deny.
Okay.
It has been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Discussion.
I would ask that you vote no.
Any other discussion? If not, let's vote.
Fails with 6.
Ordinance 156, zoning case 24-140C, rezoning property located southwest corner of Greenwood and Forge Road from I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District to I-1 Light Industrial Zoning District.
Been motion to postpone by Councilwoman Bowman, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? If not, let's vote to postpone.
It passed with 6.
Ordinance 157, closing and abandoning a portion of Sanders Street dedication in the Steer Court subdivision in section 22, Township 17 North, Range 14 West, and this will need to be postponed.
Motion to postpone by the chair, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
It passed with 6.
Ordinance 158 to amend section 94-163B and G of chapter 94 of the City of Shreveport, Louisiana Code of Ordinance relative to billing and collection, and this one needs to be postponed as well.
Motion to postpone, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
It passed with 6.
Madam Clerk, is there any table legislation to be removed from the table today?
No, sir.
We have no property standards, NPC, ZBA, or ABO appeals to consider today. Madam Clerk, are there any other appeals?
No, sir.
Are there any reports from officers, boards, or committees? I do. I like there's a duty of the chair, formally announce the Charter Review Committee, which will compose of 3 members of the council, and that committee will elect a chair. Those committee members would be the Honorable Tabitha Taylor, the Honorable Ursula Bowman, and the Honorable Grayson Butcher. Congratulations, y'all have a tall order ahead of you, but we have confidence in you guys.
Can you call Ms. Butcher, see if he would accept?
I did. I did, and I appreciate you all for accepting. Thank you. Are there any other reports from officers, boards, or committees? Madam Clerk, is there a clerk's report?
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Say it again in the mic.
Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. Mayor, do you have an additional communication?
I do not.
Does any council members have any additional communications?
I do, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we'll start off with Councilman Talaferro, then work our way down.
Well, in the interest of gift giving, I thought that I would like to give each member of the council and the clerks and the administration, a certificate which is time sensitive, so please use it as fast as you can. So, dark.
Oh, look at you setting the bar all high.
And here's the
Are we
here's
going
the
to
requirement.
Morrison's?
You just leave it face down. Leave it face down until I tell you to turn it over. No, it's not the Spencer's.
Gift certificate. Gotta be the Lewis. I know it's the Lewis. I know it's the Lewis.
Morrison. Oh, wait.
Councilman Brooks, get ready. You up next.
Man, this is beautiful.
I think this is the wine garden. It's the wine garden.
It's Lewis.
Wine garden.
It's gonna be Lewis.
Okay, you may.
It's gonna be Lewis.
Morrison's Cafeteria. Look, 5 p.m. today.
Come on, man.
This is
Jim, we have to hurry up.
I shook your hand in the
Look.
back,
Jim
Jim.
said it
Come on.
expired.
This is the first time I've been able to say this
Okay.
is not worth the paper it's printed on.
Okay, but
But it's the thought that counts.
just know this: Jim is a prophet. There is a Morrison coming your way.
To District C.
That is too cute. Jim, that's a good one.
I'm gonna frame this. Councilman Brooks.
Mine's not that good. I just wanted to make sure that I said hello to Councilman Green because I didn't at the last meeting, and he seemed like he got in his feelings about it. So, good afternoon, Councilman Green.
Councilwoman Bowman. You good? I just want to say, yeah, me too. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. Please be safe, especially with those heaters and those lights. We have enough fires going on. Vice Chair Green.
Thank you. I'd just like to say Merry Christmas to all of you, and God bless you, and I will keep you in my prayers. This has been a great year.
Absolutely. And Councilwoman Taylor.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Ms. Glover, have you been paying attention to the Social Security Fairness Act? I know how much you've been praying about that. So all these public employees and firefighters and police officers and retired teachers, this is a game changer. And I hope and pray that this is honored because that is the best gift for you all. Amen. I told my mom I want some money. Merry Christmas, everybody.
But we got to get out of here by 5.
Yeah.
For real.
It's probably going to be a line. Executive session, there are none. If there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.
We'll get out of here before 5. Okay,
This
good.
is too
Go
cute.